We occupy a hyper-connected state, mapped by pulsing lines of data. Yet inside these algorithmic systems, we are often entirely isolated. When the agricultural revolution transitioned humanity from foraging to farming, it reorganized the entire social order. It created permanent settlements and specialized labor, but that transition happened over thousands of years. The Industrial Revolution eventually introduced machine labor, pulling workers from rural farms into urban factories. The shift was traumatic, but society still had centuries to establish new labor laws, public health standards, and cultural norms. Historically, technological progress altered the physical world at a pace that allowed human institutions and social structures to adapt and find stability. In the digital age, physical machinery gave way to the rapid processing of information. Progress became measured by the speed of data moving through rooms of mainframes. This growth followed Moore's law, the observation that the number of transistors on a microchip doubles roughly every 2 years, shrinking the hardware while multiplying its power. This creates the law of accelerating returns, where the rate of innovation itself is speeding up. We are shrinking massive societal shifts from a timeline of centuries down to single decades. This velocity creates a gap. Our tools are now evolving faster than our collective ability to regulate or even understand their impact. Previous industrial shifts focused on the mechanization of physical labor. Today, artificial intelligence targets the cognitive, knowledge-based tasks that form the basis of the modern professional class. This chart shows the projected impact on labor by 2030. We see an estimated 9 million jobs facing displacement, side by side with the emergence of roughly 19 million newly created roles centered on AI and data processing. The market is responding by pivoting toward distinctly human traits. The demand for rote data entry is falling, replaced by a need for emotional intelligence, creativity, and the ability to supervise machine output. The future of work suggests a paradigm where human value is defined by the specific cognitive and empathetic capacities that machines cannot synthesize. Screen-mediated interactions strip away the nonverbal cues and vocal tones essential to human connection. Relationships become efficient but emotionally shallow. Platform design actively influences our neurology. Constant notifications trigger dopamine loops, chemical reward systems in the brain that induce ADHD-like attention spans and digital amnesia, where we forget information we know we can look up later. To keep users engaged, algorithmic curation favors content that guarantees a reaction. This design rewards outrage over nuance, trapping individuals in echo chambers that constantly reinforce their pre-existing tribalisms. While digital networks promise hyperconnection, their underlying architecture is currently fracturing the empathy and social stability required for a cohesive society. Accelerating technology eventually reaches our biology. As processing power grows, the line separating organic human life from engineered systems begins to blur. This is the core of transhumanism, the push to use biotechnology and AI to overcome biological limitations like aging and cognitive boundaries. It forces us to decide how much of our natural state we are willing to modify for the sake of enhancement. If artificial systems can simulate consciousness and surpass our intellect, ancient faith systems face a profound challenge. These institutions must adapt to provide a moral compass in a world where humans are no longer the most capable thinkers. Traditional religion and identity are facing a mandate to evolve in an era where technology wields a level of influence once reserved for natural or divine forces. We see the current risks in surveillance capitalism, where personal data is extracted and commodified to predict and shape human behavior. This projection of a data-commodified future is a warning of what happens by default, not a predetermined outcome. Reclaiming agency means demanding ethical AI governance, protecting data sovereignty, and making the intentional choice to cultivate offline connections. These systems reflect the priorities we build into them. Their ability to restrict our autonomy depends entirely on whether we choose to manage their development or simply concede to their influence. We have the capacity to build these new digital frameworks. The challenge is grounding them in the same moral foundations that have guided human behavior since we first controlled fire. The goal is to direct artificial intelligence towards solving persistent global challenges, using machine capability to elevate the human experience. The technological singularity is a measurement of processing power. Surviving it depends on the human judgment and empathy that data cannot synthesize.